at Sports Connection. I'm your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. I'm here with my buddy Ryan Ennis. Ryan, how's it going, man?
Chilling, man. Literally, it's cold. It's gonna be like 40 degrees in the morning.
I'm excited.
A little bit too chilly for me, bro.
I was just
quickly.
I was just at the bus stop earlier, and I had my shorts on, and the wind was howling, and I was looking at all the people waiting to pick up their kids. I'm like, well, I was like, after today, I think it's time to retire the shorts for the year.
Yeah, man. I went out this morning for coffee and just like a t-shirt. 'Cause it's been t-shirt weather. It's been very, very, very warm and very like.
And I bet you got a shock.
Bro, I was like, yo, it is chilly. Like, I walked out this morning and walked right back inside and got a hoodie. I was like, nope, not doing it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really chilly here, like almost down in the, excuse me, like high 30s tomorrow night. So I was like, shit. I was like, I better remember to grab my jacket and sweatpants before I go.
Yeah, I don't know like what's going on with the boiler, if it's automatic turn on, like, you know what I mean? So like if there's a night it's really cold, the building may not be having the heat pumping yet. Like after a certain date, which I think is the end of October, like it legally has to just be on.
I got you.
But like before that, it's supposed to be at a temperature, but I don't know if there's an auto kick on to that because the boiler's shut off all summer. I don't know if it's just going to kick itself on.
Or I was going to say, is there maybe like a set temperature that it comes on?
It's supposed to, but like after not being on, most things like that, you want to at least run a maintenance check before you have come on. So I don't know if the building has done its due diligence with preparing the boiler to turn on at that temperature, I should say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I know what you mean because I'm sure you've had it before. I have central air and heat in my house, but when like you first turn on like your air and heat, like for that season, you'll get like that weird kind of musty smell.
Yeah. No, I mean I've never had central air because I've always lived in a shitty apartment. But I can understand that. I've been in enough places. Work-wise.
You know what I'm referring.
Yeah. So enough about this boring bullshit when we have so much to talk about that happened this past week.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get into it, don't forget to check out our social media stuff, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at ASC Pods. You can find all of our previous episodes, entire catalog on B Plus Player Radio. Find them on Twitter at B Plus Radio. And don't forget to check out our sponsors over at Too Sweet Magazine. You can find them on Twitter at 2TOO Sweet Mag. I wanted to clarify that in case people were wondering. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Where you want to start?
Well, we can start at Super Showdown because that's what happened chronologically. So,
all right. I know you enjoyed it. I've kind of got how do I want to say this? Like how you were feeling, where it's like 5 or 10 years ago we wouldn't have even seen this show.
Yeah. I don't think it was the best thing in the world, but for a non-canon, non-storyline, I mean, albeit a couple of things here and there, but where storyline really didn't matter, matches were given a little bit more time, except for Daniel Bryan and The Miz. I just thought that there was nothing that happened that long term I thought damaged anything. No bad booking decisions we had to live with. They gave two sets of hometown people who were typically the heels a chance to be baby faces in their home country and win.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
You know, seeing John Cena at this point, like, I don't mind it.
Speaking of which, man, he looks in fantastic shape.
Yeah. And that fucking hair.
It's so funny, the hair.
But I mean, I didn't hate. I mean, like there was nothing really to hate on. I mean, like I hate the Bellas, but there were definitely signs. This is what I didn't get. Did you see the Bellas and Rousey versus the Riot Squad?
Yeah.
Okay. In the very beginning, they do a thing with Nikki and Ronda with who was going to start the match. That looked like it would typically immediately lead into something. Like they were going to lose and one was going to blame the other.
Yeah.
Nothing happened with that. Like it was mentioned. It was like I don't know what the point of them doing that was at all because it wasn't even referenced. Like nobody like it was so throwaway, especially when 1 week later they have them turn.
Yeah. Unless it was just everybody was like, "Oh, this is when it's gonna happen. This is when the turn's gonna happen in WWE's." Like, "No, we're gonna screw with you for this show."
See, I would have agreed with that had the announcers even referenced it.
I got you.
It was something like it just happened and nobody even talked about it. They didn't play it up anymore. Like it was just. If you blinked, you missed it. Like, and nobody called. So I just thought it was a missed opportunity to at least do that, plant the seeds. It's like halfway through it, they decided, like, no, let's not do it here.
Like with a tag team breakup, where you plant the seed and kind of let it go for X amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah, this just was like, here's a seed. Just look at this seed. It's not being planted.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I don't know. I thought the Undertaker match was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
For what it was, and there was a lot of downtime.
Yeah. But, like I said to you, this may not be the best thing in the world, but it's not like they're doing this at WrestleMania. Would you want to see that at WrestleMania?
Absolutely not.
So it's like, maybe it's half-assed, but for fans who are dedicated, who maybe in their lifetime or maybe in most of their adult lifetime, they never had the opportunity to see The Undertaker come out because it's never in Australia. So it's like, it's not taking up a spot at WrestleMania.
Well, yeah, and like I mentioned to you, with the way the internet and everything technology-based is today, you're going to see it, but like we discussed previously, it's basically just a house show that would be non-televised for just the Australian fans, which is going to have all their heavy hitters on it.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that when WWE does like house shows at Madison Square Garden, a lot of time Undertaker still works those shows.
Yeah, he just worked one recently, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he's worked on average of one a year for the last 3 years, which may not be a big deal, but that's his average for everybody else, and this is at a house show.
Correct.
So WWE is now making it larger, yes, to make more money, but now more fans get that opportunity. And people all over the world now get to see it. So these people complaining about the quality of stuff that's coming back, fuck it, that's not meant for you. You just lucky to get to see it now.
Well, and you know this because you're from New York. Every year they have the show at the Garden the day after Christmas.
Yeah, and it's always big, and it's so non-canon. It don't mean nothing to the story. Like, perfect example, a friend of mine and I got house show tickets to Madison Square Garden one night. The main event was Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels, and Flair bladed himself at a fucking house show so much that, like, I was in the second level looking down, and all I could see was crimson. Like,
and
it
I
wasn't
bet you
a little
almost
cut.
Passed out.
No, from that far, it wasn't that bad. If I was sitting there watching it squirt out of his body, a la Eddie Guerrero, yeah, I'd probably have to look away. But just to think, like, this was at a house show that at most 19,000 people saw.
That's Flair, man. He's dedicated.
So it's just like a lot of this stuff isn't meant for us. Enjoy it while it's here. Enjoy the fact that you get to see it. Like, I don't know if I'd want to see this at WrestleMania. Let this be at a special event where you're not taking. I mean, yes, you may be taking up somebody like Nakamura. Like, there's a lot of people that we can mention too. There's a lot of people that were not on that card. I don't know. I just think we should be happy that we get to see it instead of complaining about the quality. It's going to be shit quality regardless of what pay-per-view it's at.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I could kind of segue now that you mentioned that. I keep reading reports. WWE's keeping an eye on things. That's the latest statement I heard from them, is that the Saudi Arabia show, Crown Jewel, is in jeopardy.
Yeah, and then I actually heard a very interesting thing. They're under a contract, which means they're contractually obliged. Like, by breaking that contract, they can actually be sued, and their shareholders sued.
So they're basically stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
So, you know, if they do the show, they're going to get cannibalized in the press. If they don't do it, they're going to get cannibalized by getting sued.
Well, I mean, all it takes is one sponsor, because remember, with the whole Mae Young thing, the whole Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal, WWE didn't budge until Snickers threatened to pull their ads, and WWE the next day came out with a thing about how it was the WrestleMania Battle Royal. So, I don't know. Do you know what the story is?
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'll give a very brief synopsis. There's a Saudi Arabian writer who writes for the Washington Post, who lives in Virginia, who for some reason was in Turkey picking up wedding papers, went into the Saudi Arabian embassy in Turkey and never came out. And a lot of people are saying that it was a hit from the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salim.
Yeah, I read that they believe he was lured into there. They murdered him and then cut him up, basically.
Yeah, because apparently he's been telling people that they've been trying to lure him back to Saudi Arabia so they can arrest him, but they've been promising him like lucrative jobs and stuff like that, like in order to like kind of trap him. Like,
yeah.
He had no intention of. I mean, he said he didn't believe that if he went back, he would be a free man. So he went to the Saudi consulate in Turkey and never came out.
Yep. And I just remembered this. We're talking about how this is a bad look for WWE if they do this show. And then, like you're saying about with the contract and everything and sponsors. Another thing that I just remembered as we're talking about this, Linda McMahon is on the president's cabinet for small business.
Yeah, the Small Business Council, yeah.
So that they're screwed.
Yeah, it's a
really bad look either way.
Yeah, eventually I'm sure their lawyers are going to find a way for them to be able to pull out with as minimal damage as possible.
That's what I think. Lance said they should don't break the contract. The Saudi princes will kill and cut up Vince.
Well, I mean, I don't think they should be doing those shows anymore. I mean, I just don't know how they handle that for the people.
Yeah.
Like, how do you explain that to people? Like, why this event is being canceled?
Well, and think of all the money, like, promotionally they've put into this already.
And if they're going to back out now, the company value is going to lose $1 billion over 10 years. Minimum. I mean, like, that means investors are going to start to pull their money out.
Oh, totally.
their stock is going to fall. Like, this is, regardless, it doesn't matter what happens. If WWE pulls out, their stock is going to fall. If WWE doesn't pull out, their stock is going to fall, and they're probably going to lose sponsors. Like, WWE is going to take a hit for this regardless.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's why they're kind of stuck. Like, whatever the answer, they decide, it's going to hurt them in the long run.
Yeah.
You know what that means is when they crash the stock, it's time to buy some WWE stock.
Bro, it's so high. I can't believe.
No, I know. I just mean to buy low. That's what I was always told.
Yeah, buy low, sell high. Yeah. It would be a great time to sell if you had it. I mean, I could be wrong, but to me, it's a lose-lose financially.
Oh, definitely. Now, with some other stuff that's been going on Raw, I'm sure everybody saw Kevin Owens got the crap beat out of him by Bobby Lashley. And apparently that was because, from what I understand, he's got to get both of his knees done, Ryan.
Oh, that's a lot. Damn.
And they're not sure how bad it's going to be till they get in there. But what I sent you, I read it could be anywhere from 4 to 8 months.
Yeah, that's something.
I mean, I feel bad for him in one retrospect, but in another, it's like, hey, you could kind of take a breather and refresh, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, let his body heal up. Look what wonders it did for Dean Ambrose.
Heck yeah, dude. Jesus.
It's just time that you could just be home and, just chillax.
I was going to say, and hopefully look, and I'm not going to bash the dude because I'm a heavier guy too, but maybe he can drop some weight while he's out and maybe not put as much pressure on his knees.
Yeah. No, I mean, I still think he's in the best shape he's ever been in.
Yes. I do agree with that.
Just look at him when he was Ring of Honor champion. I love him, but he's a fucking slob.
You took the words right out of my mouth. And I remember when he debuted in NXT, we both messaged each other holy crap, Kevin looks in really good shape.
Yeah. Oh, do you know why Jim Cornette, his podcast was taken off of YouTube?
No,
it's the funniest
I didn't
thing
even
in
know
the world.
It was taken off.
Okay, well, apparently he didn't own Jim Cornette's Talking Sense. Somebody else did, and for a long time, this person had it monetized. So they were making money. So when Cornette finds out about this, because all this work was established already, and he saw a way he can make money, he made a deal with the guy for part of the profit, so the guy can continue doing what he was doing, but Cornette was going to take a cut. It was either that or just have the channel removed. So Cornette was at least cool with that because the guy's done all this work. So Cornette started his own channel, just uploading his own stuff also. And the other guy would upload clips and stuff. Apparently, Cornette's channel one day gets demonetized for duplication. Meaning it's two channels sharing the same stuff.
That's funny.
And since the other channel was around first, Cornette actually lost his channel publishing his own content.
That's funny.
I was like, how fitting. So, he took this, he had the other guy take down the site too, because I can understand that. I genuinely can understand that, because I wouldn't want people taking this and making money off of it and us not. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
So
I just think that's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think it could happen to a nicer guy.
I would have loved to have seen his reaction.
Yeah, that's funny.
That I just crack up at that. What did you think of the whole Bobby Lashley finally going full-blown heel?
I like the idea. I genuinely like it, because I think he's a boring babyface. I think a big monster like that should be. I think he should be put over like a monster, not as a good guy. Like, I think you should use that size, especially since there's not really that many like huge guys anymore.
No,
You know what I
they're
mean?
jacked like him.
Like that whole like, it's just he's. You have a guy like McIntyre, but McIntyre don't move that way. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
So.
And I really like the pairing of Lio Rush with him.
Yeah. And I think if they go with like Lashley the Destroyer with Lio Rush as like the little instigator, like I think they could have money with it because he works well as a heel. He wasn't terrible in Impact as a heel.
Well, we had this conversation earlier this week. I told you my son turned off the TV right after the match, and I'm like, and just to pick his brain, I was like, why did you do that? He's like, oh my God, Lio Rush is so annoying. I'm tired of hearing him talk on the microphone, and he's getting on my nerves. And I was like, all right, they got something here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's so money. I think he's so fucking irritating. Just the way he talks, and I think he's a smart dude. I think he's very personable, and he knows how to turn it up to 11. Like, that's not something that's out of the realm. Like, I know people like that. You know what I mean? So
it's very believable.
Yes, it's very in the realm of this could definitely be real, and it's like people I know, but put up to 1,000.
No, I agree with, and the thing is, he's only going to get better because he's, I think, 24.
Yeah, he's a young dude, and the thing is he can go in the ring, and I think he's going to have a better career like this if he doesn't fuck it up.
Yeah.
I think he has infinitely more charisma than Enzo does.
Yes.
Like, I just see something so much better with him than I saw with Enzo. And Enzo was charismatic, but I think it's different with him.
He knows how to get under your skin.
He's so smooth with it, if that makes any sense.
No, I understand exactly what you're saying. Like, how do I want to say this? It's not forced, or it's not, hey, I'm reading a script. That's just, it's him having a casual conversation.
Yeah, and I the fact that they let him do that is absolutely amazing. That he's so new.
I was going to say, that's really telling, that they let a guy that new do that.
Yeah. Apparently Vince heard him do that somewhere and wanted him
called on
up.
Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently somebody showed that to Vince. And
he's like, I want that guy.
Yeah. There's something there. And whether you love him or you hate him, it's like...
You're getting a reaction.
Yeah.
Lance always makes me laugh when he says this. He says, I can understand Leo. Enzo was like, what the fuck is he saying?
Yeah, it's Enzo was he was too cartoony, in my opinion.
Yeah. Not to cut you off, I heard that too, Lance. He was saying Vince was feeding him the lines in an earpiece.
Yeah, if he's at the point where he's gotten Vince in his ear, that's a good thing for him. He's in a good place then.
I was going to say, he's on to something.
Yeah, not bad for a guy who fucked up so royally when he first got to WWE.
Yeah, hey, I guess he, made his penance, and look where he's at now.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for the guy. I think this is perfect for him. I think WWE needs to really start looking for more things that are like this, where
out of the box.
Yeah, and that people could just be a little bit more of themselves, so it doesn't sound like the same person is talking through um many different heads, if that makes any sense.
No, I understand where they sound very, I guess you would say robotic.
Yeah, a lot of it sounds like it's the same personality out of every single person. That's why things seem, like you said, so robotic, because everybody seems so similar.
Yeah, they're all, as they would say, they're all kind of samey.
I mean, as simple, like, I know they want to over script everything, but instead of like writing all the words, because again, we wouldn't be saying this about any other TV show. Like, if we didn't like an episode of The Walking Dead,
You'd be like, oh, that's too scripted.
yeah, exactly. Like, so I mean, it's like I try to remember that as well, because again, it's televised entertainment. It's not much different than TV.
Yeah.
Like any show. We shouldn't be complaining about. Well, no, yeah, no, yeah, no. I don't know what I was gonna say.
You lost your train of thought.
Yes.
It's all good. It happens.
I'm making my own custom money in the bank briefcase at the moment.
That's awesome. How is the new game?
You know what? I was reluctant. I'm enjoying it, bro. This is the best fucking
I gotta tell you, the last
career
one,
mode.
The last one I played, and you're gonna laugh when I say this. I played it one time with the kid, or I played it like, he's like, here, I'm trying to get this achievement or whatever, do this match. I'm like, all right. I played it like maybe once or twice and had like a rage quit.
Yeah, bro, it's not the same game that it used to be. Like, I used to love the old SmackDown games. Like, my boy and I would play that.
It's so hard now.
There's just a lot of things to learn. Like, the first couple of hours, I was like, holy fuck, how long have I been away? Like, that I've forgotten how to play this game. Because I used to be so good at this game. Like, now I just play it on easy. Because it's just...
It's that bad.
Yeah, it's just been a while, so I'm like, let me get myself like better. So I want to fit like my career has been really enjoyable so far.
That's what Lance is saying, that he's really impressed with this year's. He said it's way better than last year's.
Yeah, apparently the showcase this year is Daniel Bryan, and it's his entire run from when he had his tryout match. So they actually have that attire from when he fought John Cena. And they have John Cena. Yeah, and they have John Cena's attire from that match when he had like the yellow, I think it was like yellow shorts. I haven't done it yet, but I've seen screenshots because I've been doing my career. But yeah, you start off as an indie guy, and without spoiling things, you end up on the roster.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You just reminded me of something with Daniel Bryan. I heard, it's not 100% confirmed. I heard a rumor why his match with The Miz was so short.
Why?
Did you watch SmackDown last week?
Yes.
Apparently, I remember after I rewatched it, he went to do a diving headbutt on Shelton Benjamin. And I guess yes. Shelton was supposed to move, but he didn't move quickly enough. And they
clunked.
They clunked heads.
That looked really bad, bro.
Yeah, and the rumor was they had the really quick match to just kind of protect him.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, like, that looked bad, bro. That looked really bad.
Really bad.
I mean, I hope Shelton's all right.
Yeah, well, my thing is when I'm like, can we really not like have him doing that? Like even trying it, please.
Yeah, it is.
I just mean because of all the things we've learned after, with Benoit from doing it, and it's just nothing I don't think guys should be doing anymore.
No, I agree. I agree. You should be using your head as a flying weapon. I agree. I am not into telling people what they should and should not be doing.
No, but if you've
But
had
yeah,
a history of head trauma, you shouldn't be doing it.
yeah. I have to say that I agree with you
And I don't
100%.
know, because people be like, "Oh, you sound like an old prude," or I'm like, I don't know. I guess it's just because when you get older, you're like, no, it's not cool anymore, man.
No, I'm with you 150,000% on that one.
But yeah, no, you reminded me of that when you mentioned Brian. That was the thing I heard, and if that's true, kudos to WWE for making sure he was safe.
Well, apparently Brie Bella fucked up again this week. She was actually supposed to pull oh, what the fuck is that hillbilly girl's name?
Oh,
Sarah
Sarah
Logan.
Logan.
She was supposed to
Great
pull.
description, Ryan.
You knew exactly who I was talking about too.
I know, it was just funny.
Um, but yeah, during the finish, she was supposed to pull Sarah Logan's leg so that Sarah Logan got tripped and she couldn't break up the pin.
Yeah.
Sarah Logan had to trip herself because Brie completely blew the spot.
Oh my god.
You have to go back and watch it, bro. This is the funniest thing in the world. She's so bad. How does she have a fucking job?
I'm wondering, because we can bet legally now, like gamble on sporting events in other places instead of Las Vegas. I wonder if they're gonna like start putting betting lines on how many botches Brie Bella will have in a match.
Bro, she's so bad.
Lance put in the chat, Hillbilly Sarah, patent pending.
There you go.
Oh man, that's a good one. But yeah, it's pretty bad. And I tried to be like objective and like the whole like Bella's turning on Ronda Rousey, but and I don't know. To me, it's just, and I get why they're gonna main event probably Evolution because they're more like name value and everything. But I just think it's a disservice to all the other women that have like busted their ass and that are really good in the ring.
Uh, yes. I don't believe it should be for the title. Like that's my only problem with this, is the fact that I'd be completely okay with it if this was like a co-main event, but to be the final, like that's more where my problem lies.
Right.
Is the fact that this is a title match. I mean, it's because at the end of the day, both of them are bigger stars, like in the actual world.
That's why I said that's why I get it.
I mean, and think about the main event of WrestleMania 1. It's
It is
the
what
T.
it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's celebrity. It's I don't know how to put it. It's like I'm glad that it's Nikki and not Brie. I will say that.
That's what Lance said.
Look, I think we all hate on the Bellas, and rightfully so, but I think we also need to admit that Nikki has come tremendously far. Like, she's not bad in the ring. Like, we just say, oh, she sucks, but if you're objective, she's not that bad in the ring.
I think
it's her sister who's pretty awful.
People are tired of seeing the Bellas.
They've also been gone for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, they were on TV with the Total Bellas and stuff like that, but they haven't been taking up a lot of TV time. I think compared to anybody in the Mae Young Classic, they're not in the same league. But compared to majority of what the main roster women are now, Nikki isn't that low on the totem pole.
She's serviceable.
Brie is in there with the Dana Brooks, and I don't even mean that to be funny, but she's in there with the Dana Brooks of the world. Like,
and at least Dana Brooke can wrestle, they just don't let her.
Yeah, it's she's nowhere near as sloppy. I mean, it's like I would put Brie Bella down at the bottom. Like, I'm trying to think. Her and Lana, I would put in the same category.
Alicia Fox, maybe?
Alicia Fox can do things, though. It's she's been around so long. She I think is one of the most experienced women on the roster.
She's the only one that's been there like a decade?
Yeah, her and maybe Natalia.
Yeah.
And then Tamina's another one that's on the low, been there a long time. Like, a lot of them have been there a while.
Yeah.
Tamina's out now, I think, with shoulder surgery.
Who is this?
Tamina Snuka.
Oh, yeah, she's been out a while.
But I don't know if we've seen her since, like, the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that probably sounds about right.
When her and Lana were involved in, like, she was, like, suddenly, like, Lana's, like, lackey.
Like her bodyguard.
So, yeah, that's... I don't know. I just don't think Ronda Rousey should have the title at this pay-per-view.
Right. Dude, I didn't realize it until she was on Raw this week. Trish Stratus looked like way different.
What do you mean?
And I mean this in the nicest way. It looks like she got work done on her face.
Compared to when? From when she wrestled, or from the last time you saw her on TV?
I would probably say within the last year or two.
Oh. I'm gonna go back and look, because nothing really stood out for me. She just looked kind of timeless. Like her and Tori Wilson, like, time doesn't seem to affect them. Tori Wilson looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, and I'm sure you noticed they made Lita and Trish's matches into a tag instead of singles.
Well, apparently that was the plan the entire time.
Okay.
But until they announced Nikki versus
Ronda,
they needed a big
like a draw.
names. Yeah, and remember, at first, when that was released, Alexa was still champion.
That's true.
So it looked like the champion versus Trish Stratus. For as short it was, I think tickets went on sale in that time.
No, that makes sense.
And then they hide behind card subject to change.
Oh, of course. They all do.
I mean, I think I don't know how to put it, because it was never announced as a title match, so I don't think it's complete deception. People can't say that they felt like they were robbed, because they never once said that it was a title match.
They just had a picture of both of them.
Yes. Now, granted, Alexa lost that title very quickly thereafter. From when that came out, she lost the title to Ronda very quickly. But it still allowed them to promote Trish Stratus versus Alexa Bliss. But apparently this was their plan the entire time.
Interesting.
Which, I mean, I don't have a problem with. I mean, it's... I don't think Lita's going to be able to have a match on her own.
I was just going to say that. I don't think either of them could have a singles match now.
Yeah, Lita did not impress me at the Rumble, and she really didn't super impress me, with her sudden arrival this week.
Well, remember the big thing we talked about before where she almost didn't land the moonsault?
Bro, that was so scary. I actually just watched that about 3 hours ago, because that's one of the things like I'll put on when I'm falling asleep is a Royal Rumble, and that was the next one that was up for me, and I was like, wow, that was fucking scary. Her and Molly Holly, like the Molly go round, like that was like, woo, that could have gone so bad.
But she hit it. She hit it pretty good. I got to give it to her.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. So New Japan stuff that actually just come out, you had brought to my attention before we went on air.
Yeah, apparently there's a lot of people who aren't happy ever since this Dutch guy took over, and it's It's because him and the people that they brought in aren't particularly wrestling guys. And for those of you who don't know, like that is what killed WCW beyond anything else. It was when Time Warner purchased them.
And brought in Jim Herd.
They brought in non-wrestling guys. They brought in business guys. And they didn't know the product and apparently rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and like that seems to be what's happening now with things with New Japan. So they say that a lot of people that you wouldn't expect, are strongly considering leaving the company. Now that doesn't mean come work in the States or come work for WWE. There's a lot of other places for them to go work nowadays,
especially even in Japan.
Yeah, and in Japan, wrestling in general is very, like, it's part of their culture in a lot of ways. Like the set dates for certain things. So the wrestlers are known, and when one goes from one company to the next, it's a much bigger thing than here. Like it's covered in the newspaper under sport.
Oh, I can tell you that for a fact. When my friend went over and wrestled in Japan, he sent me a video, and it's basically what we would consider the 5 o'clock news, and having highlights of wrestling on it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're so jaded here with it. Like, oh, that's fake, but nobody tells you The Walking Dead is fake.
No. It's crazy because you talk about leaving New Japan. I could probably tell you half a dozen companies in Japan other than them that would kill to have their talent.
Oh, absolutely.
So that'll be interesting because the one part that I did read is it's not the guy that's running it. It's the people that he brought in are really rubbing people the wrong way, where like they're treating them like
crap.
I don't know if you heard that, but Little Man said they're treating them like crap. That's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I'm curious. Obviously, you're not going to get names, but I'm curious they would say people that would, quote, never consider going to WWE, who that would be.
Probably anybody Japanese, because me and you were talking about this, I think, yesterday with like and any chance WWE has of signing any big Japanese names, I think is going in the toilet with their treatment of both Asuka and Nakamura.
And Itami.
Yeah,
but no, I know what you mean. They're the two bigger ones.
Yeah, and I think Itami, it was from maybe 2 years too early.
That, and he had bad luck.
Yeah, he got injured a lot. Like, you can't blame WWE for him getting injured. Like, it sucks.
He just had crappy luck.
But I also think that, like, Nakamura kind of got big because of the rise, like, the beginning of the rise of New Japan, with the Bullet Club brought a lot of attention. Asuka kind of just had a big following as it was. Kenta was a little bit more of a niche thing. So, like, you had the super fans who were like, yeah, it's Kenta. But a lot of other people just really couldn't give a fuck less, and there's nothing special about him.
Real quick off topic. If you've never seen Asuka under her name in Japan, Kana, where I guess they call it where you're like broken in. Is that what they consider it in Japan?
Well, if you're talking about when fucking Minoru Suzuki
beat the snot out of her.
She asked for that because she wanted to earn respect amongst the guys. That was completely like, that was asked for.
Oh yeah, I know. It was her doing. If any of you that are listening to this have never seen that, go on YouTube and find that where Asuka, it's Asuka versus Minoru Suzuki, and he just beats the tar out. Like, it was uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, it was a mixed tag, but there they will wrestle intergender. So I guess that's what you would call it. Because even his teammate came and tried to break it up, and he like threw her on the side. Yeah, he beat the fuck out of her legit.
Oh man, it was brutal. And since we're on the topic of New Japan, did you see Chris Jericho made his return?
Yeah. Again, that's the king of popping up when nobody expects you to be. Which brings you to the other point where he may be showing up this weekend.
That's the big rumor that he's in big time negotiations to appear at Bound for Glory for Impact and to maybe also either work or make 3 or 4 more appearances.
Hey man, good for him. He's treating himself as a brand.
I think it will get done because Don Callis works backstage for them now and they're really good friends.
Yeah. No, that's really good, man.
That's amazing for them.
No, I agree.
I might actually check out their pay-per-view. I was telling Lance this earlier.
I was looking at buying tickets, and they were sold out. I mean, granted, it's a tiny, tiny venue, but...
Is it?
Yeah, it's a fairly small venue. It's, shit, I can't remember the...
I'm looking it up as we speak. It's the
Roseland?
Melrose Ballroom.
Oh, Melrose Ballroom, yeah.
It holds... If you give me a second, I'll find out.
Maybe 3,000?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's what it looks like.
So I'd be like, good. If they could sell out a 3,000 seat place, that's good. I mean, it's people have to stop making fun of them. I mean, I kind of wish they sold a little fewer tickets because I would have liked to go, but
yeah, the irony, huh?
Yeah, right. Because they have like a fucking death match or a concrete jungle match where the match
is a concrete jungle death match, which I'm curious to see what it is.
Bro, they're fighting on a ring with no fucking padding, so it's only the wood boards. And I believe they said that they're replacing the rope maybe with barbed wire.
Huh? Ooh. Yeah, so they're gonna get a little crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking like it's going to be an okay show. So, I mean, I'm just going to watch it, I don't know who a lot of these people are. And I'm just going to watch it as just, a regular fucking wrestling pay-per-view. The same as when I watch Lucha Underground and I don't know who some of these people are.
I just give it a chance. What really intrigues me is, I haven't really followed their feud, but I think all 6 of them will put on a killer match. Is OVE against Brian Cage, Phoenix, and Pentagon.
Yeah, for the most part, anything Brian Cage and Pentagon are a part of, plus Phoenix, is absolutely amazing too, so.
Yeah. The other interesting one, I didn't realize Rich Swann is on this.
Yeah.
So they look like they're really coming along.
Yeah, they just, we just got to be able to give them a chance.
I'll say this. I could do without Austin Aries as their champion personally.
Yeah, me too. He's never done it for me.
That match is kind of just meh to me.
Oh, I absolutely understand that.
Yeah, with him and Johnny Impact, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, I don't like either of those two at all.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, I don't like fucking Johnny Mundo. I never have. I don't think I think he's more Flash. I really do. I don't like him. I did not like him in WWE. I don't like it. I don't like when he shows up places. I lose interest in his shit very quickly.
Yeah. Speaking of OVE, you're gonna, and they're starting to. They're bringing in basically all their students that they've been training. I think at least, I know for a fact 1 got signed, and maybe 2. But their students are super talented, man. I've seen just about every one of them live.
Oh, that's good.
And then I forgot to mention this. One of the when they had Kurt Angle when he won the Rumble thing they had on Raw.
Yeah.
One of the guys that Corbin threw over, I saw wrestle last Friday night.
Yeah, one of them actually was in Impact when they had like the influx, like Mario Bocaro was tagging with Fala, and one of them was in that was Indira Abraham, the guy who was the Prince Falafel or whatever the hell he was. Yeah, he was in Impact. I know because I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, that was like Indira's whatever the fuck his name was.
The dude I'm referring to, I don't know what they called him because I didn't hear it, but he's the IWA Mid-South. I think he's like their cruiserweight champion. His name on the Indies is Pat Monix, I believe.
Yeah, no, they had awful names.
Oh, I know they did. I just don't remember what his was.
Oh, they called the other guy the Sultan of Shawarma. That's what they called him.
Jesus Christ.
Indira Abraham.
That's awful. But before we finish up, dude, how can we not talk about the fight from Saturday night?
Yeah, I was about to say, bro, we can't go into closing yet. We didn't talk about Khabib and Conor.
Yeah, no. I was like, we got to do that before we head out.
All right. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. It was surreal watching it happen. Hold on. Before we talk about that, did you see the Derek Lewis-Volkov fight?
Yes.
You saw the end of it, right? When he got that fucking miracle knockout?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that dude got punched in the head for 15 minutes. And hit, like, when that came out of nowhere, bro, I was so excited. That was so cool to see. With fucking 15 seconds left, he knocked Drago out.
I thought of you with the fight before the main event, and I'm like, oh god, you were getting very squeamish.
I'm funny with that. Like, that didn't bother me as much as you would think.
Like, that was tough for me to watch.
I guess it's... I don't know how to put it.
It's certain situations.
Yeah, like, I mean, after the fact, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of blood. But it's just... I think it would bother me more if one guy really looked like he was suffering. But they're just out there smiling and laughing and, like, having a good time with each other, like two absolute the dude's sickos. Like, ugh. Yeah, I mean, it's... I don't know how to put it, but yeah, these guys are, like, absolute sickos. And they're just sitting there having a time in their life doing this to each other. So I guess it's a little different where it's... But yeah, I mean, it's good that you know me that well. But
that was my first thought. I'm like, oh, man...
But yeah, that fight, the Pettis-Ferguson fight, and it said it had to end the way that it did, but dude had a broken hand, so.
Yeah, but no, talking about Khabib and Conor, it was too easy for Khabib.
Bro, it genuinely was.
He just mauled him, and then the thing that amazed me about that fight that you've never really seen anybody ever do to McGregor is he stood up like toe-to-toe with him, and he's like, hit me.
Bro, he banged with him,
and nobody does that.
Yeah, and Khabib is not really known for his stand-up. He's not. He doesn't finish a lot of people on his feet. He's not a power guy. The first couple of rounds, like, he's amazing to watch. He genuinely is. Like, the way he's able to wrap the guy's legs up so his legs stay, like, literally crossed. He's able to cross another dude's leg with his legs just so they can't even bend their knees. And the way that he knows how to turn guys. So if you don't want to be literally on your face at a weird angle with all my weight on top of you, you have to put your hand out to support all that weight. But you do that long enough, and me just trying to push you to the mat, and your arms are just holding us both back. Your arms get tired, which means you don't throw punches anywhere near as fast.
Oh, yeah, he just wears you out.
Yeah. And, bro, kind of looked like a completely beaten man. Granted, he tapped out to a neck crank. That wasn't a choke. A lot of people saying he choked him out. He didn't.
No, he did not. He cranked his neck where if you didn't tap out, he was going to really fuck up your neck.
Yeah, bro. He would have popped his head like a pimple.
Yeah.
Or a fucking bottle cap. Because you're squeezing so hard on that jaw and just turning.
I don't think people realize that you could get really fucking hurt with that.
Bro, that shit hurts so much. And there's a video where it isolates all the times Khabib is talking to him in the cage. And there's a couple of times where Conor's completely on his back with his legs around Khabib's waist. And the thing with Khabib is you'll see like a lot of wrestlers will get down onto their knees when they're doing ground and pound kind of stuff, or like when they got the guy down. If you watch, Khabib doesn't really get on his knees. He stays like perched or crouched on his feet so he can get right up. He doesn't have to step up from his knee. So he's standing there with Conor on his shoulders, punching him in the face, going, "You want to talk? Let's talk. Let's talk now. You want to talk? Let's talk." And just fucking wailing him in the face.
Yeah, like in the second round where he's got him on the ground and he's just like teeing off on his face.
One of the announcers, who's a fighter, and Dominic Cruz, is like, oh, you know, he's basically alluding to the fact that he's trying to tire McGregor out. And Joe Rogan is like, I don't think so. I
think he's trying to take his head off.
No, he's saying he was defending McGregor, saying that McGregor was he's taking damage, but he's not taking like massive damage. Like he's able to avoid the big shots. He's trying to wear Khabib down. And Joe Rogan is like, I don't think that's the plan. I just don't think he has an answer for this.
Yeah, I remember that was funny. And like Lance said, he never enjoyed someone getting their ass kicked more than that.
You know what did it for me? It was the bus. Because I loved Conor last year. I was the first one to tell you, all day that I liked Conor McGregor. And then between the bus and him insulting someone's religion and someone's family, like, you're not fighting his religion. You're not fighting his...
Yeah, that's taking it too far.
And the fact that Dana White refuses to draw a line in the sand. Like, so it's like, you're telling me guys can start dropping racial epithets.
Or throwing shit at somebody's bus.
And face no penalty from the UFC. I mean, now.
So it's basically, as they say, it's blood on his hands.
And I think to an extent it's blood on our hands too. How many times did you watch a promo that showed him throwing that dolly, or
that's true,
or that they capitalized on? Or something negative Conor did, whether it be him mouthing off at the press conference or offering a Muslim alcohol. They've promoted this.
I agree.
And now people are mad that a guy who... For Dana White to be like, oh, this is the fight game, this is what people do. You also have to deal with the fact you're not dealing with everybody from the same place that looks at things the same way. This is a very deeply rooted man to his culture, his family, and his religion. It's not talking like, I can't stand here and say things about your son right now and expect you just to, hey man, it's business. I'm joking.
Yeah, I hear you.
There's a limit to things where you're like, okay, well, there's things you don't talk about that it's just fighting words. It'd be like me calling a black guy an N-word and afterward going, oh, well, I'm just trying to sell the fight. Like, no, you still said it, bro. There's no context in which that's okay.
Exactly.
And I don't blame Khabib for jumping out and going after the guy he did. I actually kind of have a problem with UFC, how they've been handling this, even with his teammates. Like, I definitely think they should be suspended, but new videos come out that shows Conor throw the first punch.
Oh, definitely. Well, they both got suspended now.
Yeah, see, but they're being who physically suspended? Because there's two different governing bodies. There's the UFC as a company, and there's the Nevada State Athletic Commission, that's where the problem lies right now. If he gets suspended, he's not getting suspended by the UFC. He's getting suspended by the Athletic Commission.
Hold on, I'll tell you exactly. Bear with me. Because I just read it the other day. They were both suspended. Hold on, I got to pull it up from USA Today. It doesn't.
I think it was the Athletic Commission suspended them pending the investigation. I don't think it's the UFC actually doing it.
It's the Athletic Commission.
Conor got his purse. They are holding Khabib's. Now, as of yesterday, Khabib basically said that if you fire my teammates, you can send me my broken contract, or I'll just break it myself.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
and they're not going to want to do that because regardless of what people say, I'm pretty sure that the UFC wants to have them have a rematch.
Well, it's also Khabib doesn't need to now because I'm 99% sure Khabib is the only fighter in history to go 27-0.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure he's the only one to get to that level.
Lance is saying, but they can fight anywhere but Nevada. But the problem is most USA commissions will side with Nevada.
Yeah. I mean, granted, they could do a fight in Russia. They could do a fight in Ireland. Because, again, they're a worldwide company.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that works. I don't know if the UFC also is... Because that's how they could get... Like, they could have had John Jones fighting in other countries, but they haven't been able to. So there has to be something that ties the UFC's hands to prevent stuff from like that from happening. Because, okay, Lesnar got suspended. He fights from Canada. Like that, he wears the Canadian flag on him when he fights.
Yeah.
Why, if he's suspended here, why can't they just go fight up in Canada? It's because I think the UFC is legally not allowed to have him fight in that case.
Gotcha.
Like, because they're a U.S. I don't know how that works. Again, I'm speculating. But there has to be something that ties their hands because, okay, a guy pops for steroids. We just don't have him fight in this country again.
Yeah.
It's a fight business. It's all about making money off a dude's fighting. Okay, well, we can't fight in America. Let's go find somebody from some country and have that guy fight that guy in the other guy's country. Boom. 2 million pay-per-view buys.
Totally.
So
I agree with that. All right, before we get out of here, what are you up to this weekend?
My wife is in St. Louis, so I'm going to continue to play WWE, some World of Warcraft.
You're going to be one of those guys with like coffee and 5-hour energies playing WWE nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, I took a little bit of a nap before, but I'm usually in bed early. I was in bed like 10:30 last night. I'm an early sleep dude.
I wish. But nothing super exciting this weekend. I'll be at Pro Wrestling Magic tomorrow in Ridgefield Park, and then Sunday just taking it easy, watching football.
Yeah, your fucking Eagles destroyed the Giants last night. I mean, Saquon Barkley looks fucking amazing.
Oh, he's awesome.
I feel so bad that he's stuck on this Giant team.
I talked about this with a couple other friends that are Giants fans, and they were like, they didn't want Barkley for the simple reason they were afraid that by the time the Giants got a quarterback worth a damn, he would be washed up.
Yeah, I mean, look, and as a Giant, look, I'm a football fan first. Like, I don't get sport allegiance. I mean, like, team allegiance. Like, you don't play for the team. Like, I genuinely don't get team allegiance. I tend to like one team, but I'm also a realist, and I think they've needed a new quarterback for quite a while.
I think it's been blind loyalty.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But that's most New York fans.
And now it's coming, bite them in the ass.
Yeah, no. I just think it's time for somebody different. I think it's time for a change.
No, I agree.
And even Odell kind of hinted at it.
Definitely.
He said something along the lines of he'd like to go over the back of somebody for once.
Yeah.
So.
But on that note, we're going to get out of here for tonight. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff, and we'll see you back next week. Have a good night, everybody.
Adios.